you check the children. Show a little massive.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Rolo the Wolfman.
And Merry Early Christmas. We got a present this year for Halloween, though. This movie is now available for the public to watch, and we are here to talk about Dave McRae and Bruce Dale's It's Me, Billy, Chapter 2, the conclusion to their Black Christmas follow-up 50 years later. And in fact, it has released on the 50th anniversary of the release of the original Black Christmas back in 1974. So pretty cool stuff there, and everyone knows that these two guys know how to make a film. It's Me, Billy, Chapter 1 is widely regarded as one of the best fan films ever to have been made, one of the most studio-looking fan films to have ever been made. And so there's definitely been some anticipation for the sequel, hoping that they can live up to what they've done in the first round and all that good stuff. And I will say that this is definitely, just jumping right into my thoughts, we do our overall thoughts, then the story, the acting, the effects, all that good stuff in turn. And I gotta say, I did enjoy this conclusion. I feel like it did wrap everything up well. There were some choices made that I might have not necessarily made this time around. However, I do think that it definitely is a really well-made film, just like the first one. It's studio level, just like the first one. And I definitely have some things to discuss about it, though. And but overall, yeah, it's another smashing effort from these two dudes.
No, I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Like, I loved Chapter 1, and it was nice they were able to recatch the original, like the look and the feel, and like the cold atmosphere with the color grades that they used. I really enjoyed it. Again, yeah, there were a couple shots and everything. Honestly, I wish that we would have slowed down and maybe lasted on a little bit longer, but overall, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and it was a great conclusion. Yeah. It was a good wraparound for, again, the original Black Christmas, It's Me, Billy 1, and now 2, for that whole full story of the sorority and
the
what
Billy
happened.
Saga. So
the Billy Saga, basically. Yeah.
And yeah, so I agree. So yeah, overall, it's definitely worth your guys' time, and it's one of the top fan films that has been made as well. Now, story-wise, we're not going to say too much because we don't want to spoil it, but you saw at the end of the first film, if you watch the first film, it ends with Sam, the main character played by Victoria Marrow, being put into the basement by Billy after having been caught by him, and walks up to camera and says, "Grandma," and then we cut away, right? That was the tease for part 2, and this one picks up right where that one leaves off, and we see that Jess, the character from the first film, has indeed been chained up down there, and there's a cool conversation between, Sam and her grandmother. It is not the actress that originally played Jess. That was originally supposed to be the plan. Unfortunately, the actress wasn't able to follow through on it. She started to not feel very well, so rather than risk anything by travel, they just decided to go.
Totally understandable.
She wasn't able to do it, and so again, totally understandable. You don't want to risk anything like that.
No, especially too, and also she's getting up there, like David mentioned, and she's basically coming out, or it would have been coming out of retirement for it and whatnot. And granted, it would have been great to see, but obviously the health and well-being of her definitely comes first.
And so stepping in to replace that actress is Lisa Kovac. And I think she did a good job. It was funny because I hadn't remembered that Jess was British in the first one.
That's him and I were going back. We're like, wait, I don't
was she
remember.
British? Yeah, it was immediately noticeable, and I was like, wait. And then we watched a little clip, and she was. So I was like, okay, that makes sense then. But I thought she did a good job. I thought that Billy did a great job this time around.
Yeah.
I mean, not that he did a bad job the first time around. He just wasn't given an opportunity to do a terribly lot in the first one.
Well, even in the original and everything, he was very hidden and things like that. So being able to see Billy come out and really see his animation with how he acts, and there was you and I were talked about, there was a particular shot of basically you could kind of see into his psyche. And,
that sequence.
I loved that.
There was they did a really good job exemplifying an aspect of Billy without spoiling, and it was really well done.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, we might have seen something similar in films before, but never done quite this way. And I feel like if you're going to do something we've seen similar to before, you better do it well. And they did it fantastically.
And one thing too I liked, especially too, is like with leading up into that scene that we're kind of alluding to, the tracking shot into the room was basically a mirrored reverse darkness version of what from a scene in the first film.
Yeah.
So I noticed that and was like, oh, I like that reversal. So because you're now seeing basically almost like the decay and the madness from the other side.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
Yeah, and the cinematography, to your point, you know, moving into that because we can't say much more about the story.
I know,
honestly.
yeah.
The cinematography is very well done. Again, studio level, studio feeling, and again, I agree with you. There was a couple times where we moved a little bit fast for my taste at that time, but you know, it's a choice, and it's at least kind of a consistent choice. So. Yeah, I'm down for the cinematography, the way it was presented. Yet again, I can't remember the gentleman's full name. I think it's Greg is their cinematographer.
Okay.
Let me just pull it up to make sure, because he actually won an award for the cinematography the first time.
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, Greg Bennett.
Bennett. Okay, yeah,
so.
yep.
So yeah,
And like one thing that was the highlight, especially with like the first one, and even this, is the bright Christmas color choices with the colds and the darks. I loved how they melded with that, and especially with certain shots. Like, then I think they used it in one of the promos of Victoria, where it's her in the doorway and whatnot. That warmth on her face, and on the opposite side having the cold and the darkness. I loved it. Like those little like the creepy dark happy kind of feel.
yeah.
I love, again, that's one of my most favorite things about this movie is just
The atmosphere.
The atmosphere.
The mood and the atmosphere,
Yeah,
as Dave
and
says,
and I've said it before, I'm a sucker for snow stuff.
Yeah.
I really am. I love me a good, like, snowy horror thing.
So yeah, that's all good. The cinematography is well done. The sound design is well done.
It definitely helped to elevate the scenes, especially with the frights basically, and
Yeah.
the psychology of Billy.
Yeah,
That definitely helped.
That was well done.
I loved it.
The score was good too. I think that it was standout. I definitely noticed it at a few scenes, and it was. I feel like there was one scene where it was doing a bit of heavy lifting, where it was like trying to make sure that I felt a certain way that the scene was already making me feel anyway. But overall, the score was beautifully done, you know, and yeah, the sound design and the score put together, all of that. People don't realize how much sound goes into making a film smooth, you know.
True.
It matters almost more than the video, because people are used to having odd edits at times if need be, but if there's sound blips, it immediately brings people out of it. So Dave did the sound mix himself. You know, he's been doing voice acting for many years now, and he knows his way around, you know, doing that kind of thing, and he did the first movie as well.
True.
So yeah, all that is well done. Acting wise, what did you think?
I liked everybody. Everyone, they carried everything very well, especially even with the actress Lynn Griffin.
Yeah, returning to play the twin of her character in the first movie.
Is she a twin or just the sister? I think.
Well, I mean, it's the same actress, so one would assume it's the twin sister.
60-40 maybe. But no, either way, like Lynn did a great job with her dramatic parts, as trying to convey basically the dire of the situation, that like certain characters just won't listen to her. But no, she was a great return, and the nice callbacks to the sister and things like that of the first film. It was nicely put in.
Yeah, and the gentleman that played the detective, I think he did a good job as well. So yeah, all
they
the
had
acting was
they had a good
really
chemistry
good,
and everything for their scenes. I definitely liked it.
And then, we do have to mention one thing. I, being the gore hound that I am, I gotta say, I was hoping to see some craziness. I mean, I saw you saw what I did with Dylan's New Nightmare. I don't shy away from gore. Black Christmas wasn't the goriest of films, so it makes sense that they're not leaning into that much. But at the same time, it made me very like, oh, I wish I could see more kind of thing.
I know.
So I do have to say that at least.
Yeah, but there was one shot of like how they had shot it from the depth. That bit of that played very well.
Kind of gore in the background, and that again, that was very like it's not. Maybe not atmospheric is the right word, but it's a very cool way to depict that action.
True.
And I think we did see a brief shot of it in the last trailer that they put out.
A brief one, and also what played nicely with that scene again. The sound design. The sound design will make or break your scene, and with that, like again, that depth shot with the sound effects, like. You heard everything of what was going on, but it's like you could just get that silhouette through the smoke in a sense, we'll call it. Yeah.
So I mean, we don't want to say much more about it. It's a 45-minute short, wraps everything up. So between Billy 1 and Billy 2, it's an hour and a half long, full-length feature sequel to the original Black Christmas. And they're both very much worth your time. So, thank you very much to Dave for sending over the link. We appreciate you letting us take a look at that so we could have the review ready to go. And great job to you and Bruce. You guys did an awesome job with this one. So on to bigger and better things. Hopefully some original stuff coming out of you guys next. I know that's the plan, so... can't wait to see what comes. So, thanks very much for watching, you guys. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way that you do. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Rob Wolfman.
And remember, stay scared.